Goodness me, okay. Hello everyone, welcome back to Board Games and Bourbon, where we talk about booze and cardboard. Thank you for being here, it's always nice to be my friends, and thank you for always talking. We have a lot of conversations on the Facebook page and on Twitter, and I really love that. I hope you'll join us there. Well, okay, so this week, what did we do? I didn't get too many new games to the table. I continued playing Valeria Darksworn, which is an awesome campaign-style game. Actually, I read a review about that game recently that I want to bring up, because it's one of the issues I always have with reviewers. I also played a lot of Star Realms, it's funny enough, I have this big box here, Star Realms, and as of this week, I have every expansion possible. Most of it's not open, so we're going to get to that. But it looks very exciting. I opened events and I think commanders, and it was interesting because they come out in a row. And if you don't know what Star Realms is, it's a deck builder combat game, and I'm not going to say it complicates the game, but it certainly adds more twists and turns and makes it interesting. Now, as far as the games I've been playing this week, I played Vi, which is an abstract game about building out territories and trying to get area control. Quick and simple. The Gig, which is a roll and write by Brain Crack Games. It has an innovative idea I want to bring to your attention. And Thieves Den by Daily Magic, which I think is awesome, and I have no idea why certain games become hot and famous and others don't. Blows my mind. But without further ado, let's get to day drinking here, and that is going to be Svedka Vodka. Don't be a hater. Now, this is one of the cheapest vodkas you can get, but it's also one of my favorites. It is a very clean drink, but it does have some natural flavors in it. To me, it is a sweet vodka. It mixes really well, and it stands up on its own. It's very drinkable straight. This one still does have individuality, and I could even say that it could be, a stepchild or akin to Grey Goose in a way, because of that soft sweetness that I taste in it. Okay, so that's Svedka, one of the cheapest ones you can get, probably 15 bucks a bottle, but I love it. Okay, so let's talk about the games and how they played. We'll start with the smallest one. So that is Vi. Now, Vi is a very colorful game with a great artwork style. The artwork style is what really attracted me to it. 2 to 5 players, 20 minutes per game. There's a base game, and in this version, there's a lot of expansions. The way the game plays is you get a handful of cards, and you're going to lay them out one at a time going around. And there's cards that have similar suits, let's say, and then there's royals. If the suit of the card that you put down matches the one you placed it next to, you're going to place a cube on the matching suit cards. And what this does is you're simultaneously expanding the overall size of this land you're creating by the cards, but you're also elongating your stretch and area control. Someone else can match cards and maybe bump yours off, but that's how it's generally going to be played until the cards run out. There are royal cards that put cubes in patterns around the board that can change how things are going to be happening. There's a lot of replayability in it, of course, because it depends how things come out. And then there are expansion cards that do certain things like transferring cubes, like tunnels and all of this and other things. I haven't gone through them all because I haven't played it enough to really experience those, but there's really an endless play here if you want. Very simple game to understand, and again, the table, anyone can play it. So if you're in the mood for abstract games, and I'm going to say this is around 20 bucks, go ahead, check this out, Vi. Strong art, great components in it as well. Okay, and next game I played was The Gig. Now, I believe this is a prototype. I'm not sure. I was asked if I wanted a copy. I don't know if it's on Kickstarter, going to Kickstarter, or been on Kickstarter. But it's a game it's a roll and write game set in a jazz world. Fantastic art, great components, and an innovative aspect to it that I want to talk about. But it is also real time. That may or may not put you off. Now, in The Gig, what you're doing is you are rolling dice and you're trying to put them on a main board called a song. Now, you're going to roll your dice as fast as you can so that you can get these locations. There's going to be 6 lines, and whatever your die says, 1 through 6, you're going to put it on that line. You're trying to connect your dice into contiguous shapes. You may land on a blank space, you might land on a space that has a power, and powers do things where they manipulate dice or they increase your score, whatever it might be. And when you do this, whatever you land on the main sheet, it's almost like Tetris. You're going to take that shape, essentially, and you're going to transfer that sheet from the main board to your private board. And then your private board is where you're really going to score your points and get other kickbacks like multipliers or other powers like that. So there's two competing things here that are happening. You're trying to land, you're trying to figure out how to make your dice match on the main board so you can get something contiguous, like I need a 1, I need a 2, I need another 2 so I can draw this line to the left here or something like that. I need that power, so maybe I want to land on that power. And you can roll your dice as many times as you want until you get what you want. You can X out your powers to affect your dice to get where you want to be. But remember, there's also the time pressure because if someone else takes your spot, you lost out. And then there's a side thing called a harmony where you can just kind of get some kicker points if you have nothing to do with your die. Now, I've seen some people say that, oh, if it's timed, am I really playing the game or is the time playing the game for me? Well, I'm going to tell you that it can be frantic, the game. The innovative part of this is transferring that shape like Tetris to your personal board. I thought that was really cool, and I think the art's very cool. But how important is timing? That's really going to depend on how seriously you take the game, okay? If you want a joyful lark of a time where you're rolling going, shucks, you took my spot. It doesn't matter. It's like Happy Salmon, if you ever play that, slapping hands trying to get handshakes. You're doing it for the fun of it. You're not doing it because you're strategically trying to figure out who do I act like a pirate with or something like that. But if you're going into this wanting this to be like Hadrian's Wall, which is a roll and write version of a Euro game, well, then you're missing the point, I would say. So although timed games aren't always my cup of tea, the innovative quality of that transfer of shapes I thought was very cool. So give that a look, explore that one more for yourself. Now, Thieves Den over here, wow, I thought this was so cool. It's a game that came out a few years ago. I think it just kind of like bombed out. I don't know why the reviews are not good on it. It's a great game. Maybe it was mismarketed. I don't know. It is a gateway Euro game that has really fun ideas in it. In fact, when I played it, it reminded me of, what's it called? Lines of Lydia by Johnny Pack, right? In terms of heft. And what you're doing in this game is you have this board, and there is two competing games in it. There's set collection that actually moves pretty quickly through a drafting mechanic, and then there is trying to win contracts, essentially, what they call fencing. The idea is you're in this village, you're stealing stuff from locations, you're turning it into people who will buy it on the black market. But there's a few little fun ways you can do things here. So first what happens is you get a handful of cards. And you're going to have a private goal that says, if you have these kind of cards, you're going to score extra points at the end of the game, okay? Each of you have those. And then you're drafting cards, probably so you get locations that match that scoring card you got in the beginning of the game. But when you put your locations down, the locations are going to say, if you go here, you get these rewards. Now, if you go to your own spot, let's say you get 3 cards and person B gets 3 cards, person C gets 3 cards. If you go to your own location, you're going to get whatever it says a person gets. But someone else goes to your location, they get those, but then you get a little compensation, reward. Like maybe they get like 2 jewels and a money, and then you're just going to get 1 jewel. But you didn't even have to spend a worker, and you got something. So that's kind of cool. Now, you take that money, you can go to the main board. You can spend what you just earned by going to a witch, which gives you straight points. You can take your person or spend your economy to get a power that maybe lets you replace where someone else went in a location, or lets you get extra workers so they can do more things on the board, or you trade in workers so you can get that last jewel you need, and then you can also visit one of the contracts, and buy that contract. And when you buy that contract, you're going to get points on the game. Moreover, if you have certain kinds of contracts that you completed, the person who has the most of this kind of contract will get end game bonus points, and depending on what it is. I thought that was really cool. Do I go to your location because I don't want to benefit you, because if I benefit you, you might get this contract. And the game is only 3 rounds. It moves very quickly. The art is fantastic in it. I really, really enjoyed Thieves Den. I don't even know if you can find stores. I know Daily Magic has it on their website. And there's an expansion that adds new locations, new powers. There's a wild die, and the wild die basically is just for fun. You can get a card that normally would have said you get money and a coin or money and a jewel, but now it says money, jewel, and a wild. Go for it. And stuff like that. It's actually quite fun. So that was my favorite game of the week. The last thing I want to mention was, I think I said that there was a review of Darksworn. I love Darksworn. I've been playing Darksworn. The campaign, which is Valeria, Card Kingdoms of Valeria. And instead of competing against other people, there's big baddies that come out, and you're trying to make it through these scenarios to say you have to accomplish these certain things and move on through the book. There was a review online. I'm not going to name it. I'm not going to harangue anyone, but I'm going to speak to the spirit of the review. And the review essentially was like this. It said, "Hi, this week I watched a comedy movie. I don't like comedy movies. The comedy movie that I watched had less drama than I wanted. I like drama movies more. Therefore, this gets 1 out of 10. It was the most pointless review. I don't know if this person was told to review a game they didn't want to, bought a game they probably weren't going to like and was hoping it was going to convince them that they like this genre. I have no idea how they came to review this. I'm actually surprised it was published, because right off the bat, it makes no sense. It's like, hi, I'm against fossil fuels, so I bought this big sports car. But I'll tell you, the barrier for board game journalism is, by evidence that I have a show, of course, right? Okay, friends, until next time, be well. Talk to you then.